friends, and welcome to my channel, Homestead in the Woods. I am Catherine. Today is November 1st, and that means anything that is still in the garden probably should have come out several days ago because we've had temperatures in the 30s. But, well, as frequently happens, things get away from you sometimes. So what I'm going to be taking out of the garden today is beets. I've got some beets already. These are the Detroit dark red beets. I'll show you those in a moment here. I'm just going to roast them in the oven and go back outside and get the rest of the beets. I've got a couple of different varieties out there. Some Cylindra, which is a longish beet that's red, very tasty. I like those very much. And then I've also got some Chagoya, I think that's how it's pronounced, and those are also known as the bullseye beet, and they have red and white rings on the inside. And then I'm hoping I still have some golden beets that are ready to come out too. Well, again, they should have come out a while back, but anyway, you know, that's the way things go. A lot of things going on the homestead right now. We've had a reflooding of my garden, which means the beavers are back, and we got rid of them earlier this year, and was told by the trapper that come fall, early winter, we might start seeing some flooding again as the younger beavers that were there before get kicked out of their dens by their mama, and they are sent out in the world to go make their own dens. So, and anyway, I've had several days now where my garden has literally been underwater, which, well, I couldn't go harvest things unless I wanted to put on some muck boots and go out there. But I had so much else to do, I just didn't get out there. So that's what's going on today. I'll show you what I'm doing with the beets, getting ready to put those in the oven, and then we'll go outside and harvest the rest of the beets. I also have some kale out there right now. I may leave it. It actually gets sweeter when it gets a little frost, but I think we're getting past the frost point now, and we're getting down into the deep freeze here pretty soon. So I'll be getting probably at least some of the kale, and just kind of clearing out the beds, removing anything else that is just kind of done and ready to be taken up. And then I've just got some, you know, debris, plant debris and that kind of thing that I'm going to be pulling up and putting into the compost pile to be circulated back into the system again. And I only do that to plants that are healthy when I pull them out. Anything that looks diseased, it gets burned or buried or something like that, but I don't put it in my compost because I don't want anything to come back and contaminate my crops the following year. So we'll get to working on getting the beets in the oven, and then we'll go outside. All right, all I'm going to do with my beets is rub them all over with a little bit of olive oil. This is good organic olive oil, really very inexpensive, that I get at Walmart. And I'm just going to drizzle a little bit on each. Ooh, that was a lot. Drizzle a little bit on each one, just kind of rub it in. I'm going to cover it with some more foil, and I'm going to put it in the oven 350 degrees for probably about 40 or more minutes. I'm leaving the skins on. I'm going to roast them. Well, they're kind of going to be steamed really, because if you just put them in the oven just as they are, or especially if you peel them, they're going to dry out and be kind of just not even taste all that great. So I do like to process them this way so that the skin is on. Once they're roasted or steamed, really, I'm going to be getting the skin off, but they will stay nice and moist inside. So let's get this foil on and into the oven. I've already got it preheated 350 degrees. Okay, we're ready to go, and we're going to head outside. Well, here's my beets that are still out in the garden. They're not too happy about the cold weather that we had the last 2 nights, but it is what it is. The greens, which are absolutely delicious to be cooked, they're not totally gone. They're going to be just fine. They're just kind of a little wilty right now. So I'm still going to harvest those, bring them inside, and probably incorporate some of those into dinner tonight. This is my broccoli, and there's some kale over there, and my dog. You can see the leaves are all coming down on them, and they've got, a little wilty looking because It got real cold last night, but they're going to be just fine. I've got a little side shoot. I've already removed the main stems, the main heads on these, but we do have some side shoots. There's one, and I see another one popping out here. So I'll be harvesting those and any others that might be in there. And some kale. I've also got a little bit of chard down in here. It might be okay for a little while, but we'll see. Anyway, I'm going to get going on the beets first. Okay, I'm hoping that you're going to be able to see what it is that I'm doing. I'm going to put on my gloves here. These are just regular Playtex gloves, but I've discovered I really like to garden in them, especially in the summertime when those darn mosquitoes are out and I can cover this part of my arm really well. Plus the gardening gloves that are made of fabric, it never fails that you end up getting dirt under your fingernails, and I just hate that. So anyway, I've got a bucket of water here that I'm going to wash my beets in, excuse me, as I pull them out so that I'm not bringing all that dirt into the house. And then I will place them into this box to carry them in. So I'm going to be kind of digging them out here because they're surrounded by falling leaves now. Well, that one's not much to write home about, but I will take it in, wash it up a little bit, get rid of the dirt, and move on. I've already taken quite a few beets out of here, so it's not like this is my main crop or anything. Again, not much to write home about, but it's still usable. And certainly these greens are. Take the extra bits out. Molly, you don't need to bark. Seriously. Alright. Some of this I'll just put in my compost bin. Alright, that one's not worth doing anything with. The greens are all wilty, but they're still good, so I'll use the greens. And again, they are delicious the way I prepare them, as I just wash them up real well, saute them in a pan with a little olive oil, a little butter. I like both for flavor, and salt and a little garlic powder, and they are absolutely delicious. Boy, I'm getting nothing but small ones here. But like I said, I did already harvest some. So this is just kind of the end of it right here. All right, this one's a little bit bigger. And you can see they are an elongated root. I don't need any maple leaves. And I'm just going to pull off the stuff that needs to be in the compost bin anyway. What do you think, Molly? Huh? Hey, you could be helping with this. You got paws. You can dig. So we're still pulling up the cylindro beets. Not much there. Or there. Alright, this is a really nice one. There we go. That's what I'm talking about. This gives you a good idea. I'm going to wash it first so you can see it. Get rid of the spent leaves. Alright, there you go. There's a cylindro beet for you. I have gotten larger ones than this, but this is pretty good. Another small one, but still usable.
a little salad size. That doesn't even look like a cylinder. It could have been something else, but the seed just strayed. Alright, I'm going to the other side and just go ahead and pull the rest up. Alright. I don't know if you can see that, but I'll show you in a minute here. Hey, Miles. My goodness. It is cold out. Starting to get windy again. Earlier on, yes, it was cold. We're still in the 30s today, but earlier on it was not so cold because there was barely any wind. But now it's kicking up. And leaves are dropping on me as I'm doing this. We got a lot of leaves to gather here pretty soon, and it's been raining and snowing for the last 3 days, so the leaves are all pretty wet, but we need a dry day to be able to get all of those leaves, and I will put them through a shredder and then use some as mulch right away, and the rest I will put away for the spring. I think that might be it on the cylindra. So this is pretty much what we got. There's, some smallish roots, but they're all still usable, and the greens are definitely usable. So I'm looking forward to having those. Once the greens are removed from the bulbs and washed up and chopped up and put in a container in the refrigerator, they'll stay good for a while. So over more than a week, really, you can just keep the greens in the refrigerator and use them. They do, these greens do tend to, oops, dropped the whole bunch. They do tend to cook down a lot like spinach, so you want to cook way more than you think you're going to need, because they do reduce significantly when cooked. They can also be eaten raw in a salad, and they're delicious. I eat them raw. One of my favorite ways to eat these beets is to just clean them up and put them through my food processor and shred them. They are delicious with a little dressing. I had that for my lunch today, and it's so good. Okay, that's it with the cylinder beets. Let's see what else we got here. Now I do have some Shigoya beets in here, and those are the bullseye beets. Let's see what we got. I've had some of those already. Okay, so this one it's a small root, unfortunately, though, but I think when I get back into my kitchen, I can clean it up and slice it in half and show you what it looks like inside. Unfortunately, it's not as brilliant as far as the red and white bullseye goes once it's cooked, but still, it tastes good. And it looks fun in a salad just raw. You can slice it into chips and make it something that you can use as a chip with dips. Now, I know I planted some golden beets. I haven't seen any yet. I haven't harvested any yet. So I am hoping they're in here somewhere. Just trying to pull some of the spent leaves off of here. That'll go right to the compost a few feet away. These are small, but, well, darn it. The greens will be good. And it doesn't matter what type of beet greens, they're all very tasty. Every variety of beet has tasty greens. All right. Well, No golden beets yet. I wonder what happened to them. Because there should have been some in here. And there's not. Well, that one's a little bit bigger. Again, this is another one of those bullseye beets. There's going to be a lot of green. Oh, I better get my knife out of here so I don't lose it. I brought it just in case I needed it for something. I'm going to walk to the other side and pull the rest. Actually, I could probably just move the camera. Hopefully you can see that. Okay. I'm very disappointed that I have not encountered any of those golden beets, because those are my absolute most favorite. I'm thinking there must have been a problem with the seeds. And that's just another bullseye. There must have been a problem with my seeds. I mean, the size of these beets are really kind of disappointing too. They'll still taste good. And so will the greens. All right. So far, still no goldens. I've only got a few more to pull, so I think for whatever reason, well, it had to have been seed failure. There are no goldens here. And I was certainly hoping for larger beets, but these are all totally usable. Kind of throw some of these not good leaves to the compost. I don't have to drag it into the house. I won't. So it helps to pull out the not good pieces. Well, I would say I got a really good bounty as far as the greens are concerned, but the roots not so much. They're still usable. They're still going to be tasty, but they certainly did not get as big as I would have expected. So that just tells me that I need to work on my soil composition to make sure that these plants are getting what they need. So I'm going to come back over and get these washed up, and then we'll see what's happening with the broccoli. Okay, we've got all the beets, and now moving on to these little side shoots of broccoli. So, like I said a few minutes ago, I've already harvested the main heads of these, and those were delicious, but when you harvest the main heads, don't pull up your plant because it sends off these beautiful side shoots. And there's plenty of broccoli, and the leaves are delicious too. So there's more food right here. I guess I'll put this aside and get the rest of them. You don't want to get too carried away pulling the side shoots, because it is going to be warming up again for the next few days, which means we still have an opportunity for these to grow a little bit more. We've had about 3.5 inches of rain over a period of 3 or 4 days. And so everything has kind of continued to grow. So there's another little one in here. And because we're having a slight warm up into the 40s, I'm just going to leave that and see if perhaps we're able to get some more nice sized side shoots. So I'm not really seeing any more. Yeah, I've got some more coming on this plant over here. So we'll wait. I'm not giving up on this broccoli yet. We gotta move all of these leaves out of the way to be able to see what all is in here. I'm not seeing any more that's harvestable today. What's this? Yeah, we're trying to get some side shoots over on this plant here too, so we will wait. But we have 2 nice side shoots. There you go. That's enough for 2 of us at dinner time. I'm going to add that to the beet. So I'm over by the kale. This is winter boar kale, and it's done just fine with our cold weather. In fact, it looks even greener than it was earlier. Kale gets sweeter when it's had a chance to get cold and go through a frost. So I'm not going to harvest any of this today. Again, we've got it warming up into the 40s this next couple of days, so I'm just going to leave it because it will be fine. So this is where my garden had been this year. It's all covered with leaves now, but you can see that's where some tomatoes had been, and these had water all underneath them. Yeah, here's a few tomatoes still on the vine here, and they look like they got frozen, of course. This one was completely pulled down by the water. I'm going to take a look at those tomatoes in a minute and see if any of them did not freeze. We've got quite a few in there, but I see something had been chewing on, one of them down in here. I don't know if you can see it, but something had been chewing on it. So the water had been all the way up to here. So my tomatoes, everything had water all around the roots, and that's not anything that can be sustaining life, unfortunately. My green beans on the pole here, some more over there. So there's still a little bit of water right here, but it came through that culvert that you can see over there. So when the beavers dam things up, it reroutes water so that it comes here and it floods. And a little farther down you can see some more water. So I had some tomatoes still here waiting for them to ripen, and that it's still not even ripe, but I think they did get frozen, and so that's the end of that. That's just unfortunate that we had that happen. I think it got a little colder than what was expected. There might be actually a few that are okay, so I'm going to put the camera down and take a look and see if there's anything I might salvage from this. In the meantime, hang around, and I'm going to show you what those bullseye beets look like when I get it back to my kitchen. Okay, I'm back inside, and I just wanted to show you what these bullseye beet looks like. Yeah, bullseye. There's a type of beet called bull's blood. That's not what this is. This is a bullseye beet. And I'm going to be processing this and these beautiful greens into a component for our dinner tonight, but I just wanted to show you this absolutely gorgeous beet. There you go. These are bullseye beets, also known as
Chigoya, I'm not sure. But anyway, they're beautiful and it's going to be dinner tonight. So thanks for joining me on this short video, and I'll be seeing you on the next one. So here's my lunch today. I've got a little leftover chicken, some leftover wild and brown rice, some sliced avocado, and on the left side of the plate there are the beets that you saw me cook, and they're sprinkled with a little feta cheese, and there's cooked beet greens in the center there. I cooked them with some butter and salt and garlic powder, and about 2 cups of greens cooked into about 1/4 cup. So I kind of take that in mind if you decide to cook some greens. And that little bit just to the left of the chicken there, that's a little green goddess dressing. And of course, some homemade applesauce and water. So I'm about to sit down to lunch. Thank you for visiting, and I will see you on the next video.